Hello, everyone. My name is Clifton Johnson. I'm the founder of the Empower Series Incorporated, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization brought to you by the generous donations of Comerica Bank, AE Media Group, and our viewers in the United States and around the world. If you want to find out more about the Empower Series, definitely stay connected with us on social media. You can also check out our website, www.empowerseries.com. There you can find out what we do in delivering hope, inspiration, education, and connecting people to resources to achieve their personal and professional goals as well as financial goals. In the top left-hand corner, you will see a little button that you can click on to donate. If you choose to donate, we greatly appreciate that, so thank you. And the month of April is actually Financial Literacy Month. And I say the month of April is Financial Literacy Month, but in reality, every day is a Financial Literacy Day, because every minute of every day, there is somebody or some organization trying to separate you from your money. And the more you know, the more you're in control as to how you can allocate your money to achieve your goals. So our goal today is to do a program that will encourage you to get connected to resources that will help you solve any financial problem you have or answer any financial question. The organization that we're going to showcase is Money Management International. Our guest today is Tara.alderete. She's the Director and Enterprise Learning Manager at MMI, which stands for Money Management International. It's the largest provider of nonprofit financial counseling and education in the United States. She oversees a team of educators, creates MMI's online and in-person education programs, and facilitates community workshops and webinars. She has actually been a 3-time Empower Series presenter. She has done a program on becoming a credit report ninja. She's done a program on when income decreases, but the bills don't. And she's done a program on identifying scams and identity theft. So without any further ado, welcome to the Empower Series again, Tara.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here with you.
I am so glad that you were able to make it on our program today again and talk about your organization, because I just think it's an organization that more people need to be aware of.
I agree.
If someone's having any kind of problems, the solution can be found on your website.
That's right.
So tell me a little bit about the organization and what I want to do today, in addition to you telling people about your organization and how they can tap in and use the resources available, I do want you to share some insight, given your years of experience. What is important if people want to improve their financial status and their position? What are the 5 or 6 things that they need to do to actually accomplish that goal? And then they can follow up and stay connected with your organization.
Absolutely. So our organization is a 501c3 nonprofit. We provide financial education and counseling. Our mission is to improve lives through financial education, and we live that every day through the services that we provide. So those services are debt and budget counseling, where we can work with somebody one-on-one to create a workable budget, and then they just put that into action. Debt management plans, where we can work with somebody to lower interest rates and get them paid out of debt in a good way in 3 to 5 years. Student loan counseling, housing counseling, education and outreach, disaster recovery counseling. So really anything that folks are looking for to improve their financial wellness or achieve financial goals, we can provide the information and resources that they need to make the best decision for them.
That's an awful lot.
It's a lot.
So are most of your services at no cost to the participants?
Right. So as a nonprofit, the majority of our services are no cost. For those services where there is a cost, the cost is very low, and it's based on, in most cases, it's based on that client's financial situation. So if we're talking about a debt management plan, for example, there's going to be a plan administration fee, but that is based on the situation, and it's capped at a very affordable rate. And we've got some folks that are on a debt management plan that are paying nothing because that's what their situation dictates. So we're here to help, not hurt. And so we always take that into consideration.
Okay. Now, when I go to your website, which is www.moneymanagement.org, and I look at all of the services that you have to offer, I see that there's like 3 categories. There's several types of services that will help someone who's in some level of debt pay their debt off.
Yep.
And then there are a series of counseling around debt management, student loans, bankruptcy, things of that nature. And then there's a section for financial education. For someone who is going to your website, how would you suggest they navigate and not be overwhelmed by all of the different services that you guys offer?
Right. So that's a great question because there is a lot. So I would say the best place to start is with counseling. So you're looking for a debt and budget counseling session. And on our website, there are short videos that will tell you what each of our counseling services provide. But when you start with a debt and budget counseling session, that allows you to work one-on-one with one of our certified counselors so that they can understand your situation and goals, help you create a workable budget and action plan, and then send that to you. From there, they can identify all the other services or resources that you might need to take advantage of. So that's the best place to start.
And I think it's interesting. It's like going to a doctor. You know,
Right.
you may have this element of I don't have enough money left over after the end of the month to pay all of my credit card bills, or I'm considering bankruptcy, or I might be approaching foreclosure. And for someone to help you, they actually need to do some kind of basic examination to see what you're working with. So
Right.
whether you go to the doctor, they take your height, weight, blood pressure, they do some basic examination, and then they address your concern. It's really good, no matter how healthy you feel like you are in budgeting, to go through that budgeting session to help the counselor really get a good sense of your scenario, and then they can attack whatever area you want to attack. And they may find that there's some other areas that need some improvement.
Yes, because oftentimes what happens is it takes a third party, right? It takes a non-judgmental third party to take a look at that situation and maybe see something that you've been overlooking because you've looked at it so much or so hard that you're just not seeing it. And so that's what a counseling session can do for you. And it can really sort of point you in the right direction. And the great thing is, like I said, it's non-judgmental, it's free, and there really is no obligation. If you complete this counseling session and get all that you need to get from there, you don't have to do anything else. You know, we'll never contact you again. So it really does put you in the driver's seat to be able to take charge of your financial situation.
So let's talk about some of the counseling sessions. So the basic counseling session for budgeting. You also have one for understanding your credit report or something like that. Is that a counseling session to?
Yeah, so yes, it's a credit report counseling. It's basically credit report counseling, and it's a deep dive. So a counselor will work with you to take a deep dive into your credit report. If you've ever pulled your credit report before, you know when I say it can look like alphabet soup, what I'm talking about. So it can be a little bit overwhelming just to sort of make sense of all the stuff that's on there. But oftentimes there are things on there that are not yours, or they don't look right and they need to be disputed. And so that's what one of those sessions can help you do. Understand what's on that credit report and identify next steps you may need to take to manage that.
Okay, and then another situation might be foreclosure counseling or home related. Like if you're thinking about buying a home, or if you are in trouble about to foreclose on a home, and then also reverse mortgage. Those are also counseling sessions, right?
Right. So we are also a HUD approved counseling organization, which means that we're approved to provide housing counseling and education across the board. So whether you're looking for pre-purchase education, which is sometimes required for down payment assistance, foreclosure prevention, where we can sort of work with your lender to help identify options for you. Yes, reverse mortgage counseling, anything like that, we do have the resources and certification to help you to take advantage of those as well.
And then I can see on your website, there's student loan counseling as well as bankruptcy counseling. So those are
Right.
two. So there's a number of, whatever your problem is, you got a solution to it, right?
For real. So, and if it's just financial education that you're looking for, we've got a series of videos and articles, quick, fun things that you can do on your phone, mobile device, to just identify, like, what is it that I don't know? Like, a lot of times we don't know what we don't know, right? And so it can sort of set you on the right track for thinking more about, gosh, I really do want to learn more about how to develop a debt reduction plan. And then we can point you in that right direction.
So I was noticing on your website that you have a series of workshops, but all of your in-person workshops that I saw are in Atlanta. Is that correct?
So we do have educators in different areas. The bulk of our in-person workshops are in Atlanta. But to be honest with you, over the last 2 years, as we've probably all experienced, we've shifted. We've always had a really strong online presence, but a lot of that education has shifted online. And I'm really proud of the work that we've done over the last couple of years to really, really ramp that up around education. So not only are we offering live sessions where available, but we've got live webinars that are happening all the time. We've got pre-recorded sessions, and we've got quick, easy to watch and digest little videos about various topics that are available on our learning site and on our website for free. So there's a lot of ways that folks can take advantage of that education and connect with us.
So your webinars are scheduled, but then there are also things that you said are pre-recorded. Are those under blog posts, or are they under the webinar section? Do you know?
So, yep. So if you go to our webinars page, just moneymanagement.org/webinars, we've got scheduled live webinars that are coming up, but we also have pre-recorded sessions. And then we've got an online learning portal, which is available at learn.mmiuniversity.org. We do ask folks to register for this because not only can they take advantage of courses, but they can upload information, build a budget, access resources. So they can put all of their information into one place to access anytime they want to. So it's protected and secure. But from there, they can link to our other pages, but they can also watch these informational videos to, take advantage of articles, build a budget, things like that.
So the website that you just mentioned, is that a free service, or do they pay for that when they register?
No, it's absolutely free. It's absolutely free. And these courses are fun. They're fun, they're quick, they're less than, 5 and 10 minutes long, very engaging, great even for your kids. So good stuff.
So hopefully this program is letting people know about information they didn't know before. And
right.
There's no way we can talk about all of the different pieces of knowledge in each one of the programs for counseling, financial education, and debt management plan. So underneath the video are links to all of the websites that you're mentioning to us, so that they can stay connected with you and access these resources. But it sounds like this learning portal is more interactive. It's not just sitting back and listening. You actually can, like you said, upload your information and hands-on through experience, learn how to budget, learn how to, pay off your debt, kind of paint a picture of what your current situation is, and then work out a plan to help you make some progress.
Exactly. And while you're doing that, if you're thinking, gosh, this is good, but I really do want to sit down with somebody one-on-one and look at my own situation, right from our learning dashboard, you can connect to get the information to connect with one of our counselors and schedule that session. So it's all together in one quick and easy place that like I said, is available 24/7, anywhere, anytime.
All right, so here's what I would like you to do. Since you have this vast amount of knowledge and experience in creating curriculum, whether it's online, in person, and just helping people not only capture new information and knowledge, but putting those things into action. I would like you to step us through and share with us maybe 5 steps that are critically important when it comes to achieving a goal of reaching some type of financial stability and realizing their imaginations.
Absolutely. So I think about financial wellness like a puzzle, right? And so there's all these pieces that come together to make one big picture. And when I think about the top 5 things, I would say first and foremost is building a budget, a realistic spending plan that you can stick with. That's sort of the corner piece of your budget. Or of your financial wellness plan is building that budget. But then understanding what your credit says about you and managing that credit so that it helps you and it's something that helps and not hurts. The third thing would be actively making a plan to reduce or manage your debt. So making sure that you can manage, reduce, or eliminate any debt that you have. And then saving, right? So saving is critical. We've heard the expression pay yourself first. And so making sure that we're saving on a regular basis, not only for emergencies, but for those short-term, mid-range, and long-term goals. And then finally, protecting our wealth, right? So this would be insurance and investing and, planning for the future and managing our assets and thinking about, what happens after we're gone, sort of estate planning. So those would be the top 5 things. There's this great quote that I really, really love, and I always think about this when I think about financial wellness. Warren Buffett, who we all know, he's such a successful investor. He says there are 309 million people out there trying to improve their lot in life, and we've got a system that allows them to do it. And I feel like that is so powerful. No matter who we are, where we are, what our financial situation is, or where we are in that financial journey, we all have room for improvement. And we're so fortunate in our situation, in our society, and in our country that we do have the system available to help us get where we want to be. We just have to reach out and grab that. So I'm excited to be able to offer it. Those would be the top 5 things that I would say: budget, credit, save, pay down debt, and protect your wealth. And give us a call or reach out to us online, because we can absolutely help you do all of those things.
Okay, so before we wrap on this, because this is going to be a relatively short program, because we don't need to sit here and talk about it. We want people to take action on what we're saying. So the first step is the budget. There are a lot of resources there to help people understand their income and their expenses. There are probably worksheets and forms that can be downloaded in your learning portal.
Absolutely.
Create the budget. So I'm showing that online as we're talking about it. So if you have to pause this video and say, okay, the first step I'm going to do is create my budget, then you can pause this, come back to it, and take the advantage of using the resources on Money Management International's website, moneymanagement.org, or going to the learning portal that's on the screen here, and take the first step of really getting a good picture of the money coming in, the money going out, and seeing where you are. We feel like that's the basis of any decision you can make. You can't make any decisions if you can't even do that.
Exactly.
Do you talk about goal setting and imagination as well?
Absolutely. And actually, when we think about building a budget, that's often the first step, right? We have to identify our goals before we can do anything else, because those goals dictate every dollar that we have and where it's going to go, and they help us stay on track. So that is part of the budget building process, and it's critical.
Yeah, and so I'm going to talk a little bit about imagination, and I hope not to ramble here, but I have 2 kids. My daughter is an artist, and my son is graduating on Mother's Day right now with his architecture degree, and he's looking at going get his master's in architecture, which are all fields about design and imagination and putting what's in your mind on paper and then manifesting that. And Jim Rohn talked about a lot of things, the importance of imagination. He says, imagination builds cities. It actually conquers disease. It develops careers. It sets up relationships. Everything starts with imagination. So whatever people are thinking, whatever we're thinking about what we want in our lives, it starts with our imagination. My daughter referenced her favorite author, Alex Gray. He's an artist. And he talks about in his book that life, everyone's an artist. It's not just people who paint. It's like we're all artists in designing our lives. And whether we write, whether we are a business person, whether we're a teacher, we express our imaginations through our creative, artistic expression of our lives. So I want to make sure that we don't skip through and just dive into how do you solve a problem of budgeting, getting out of debt. It really starts with people and all of us imagining what our lives can be, identifying goals, and then designing it through the tools that you have. So that's the first step of just budgeting. It's more than just adding and subtracting. It's really sitting back and imagining what your life can be.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Listen, you're speaking our language, because it's not only that, but it's also considering, why do we feel the way that we do about money individually, right? Where do those attitudes and habits and things come from? They come from our experiences, and we all bring a different experience to the table. And to be successful, we have to identify and acknowledge that. But like you said, sort of speak that into existence. This is a topic that we should all be talking about and that we need to talk about more. And the more we talk about money and financial wellness in a positive light, watch us become more and more and more successful. And it makes me so excited because that conversation is how things change, right? That conversation that we have in our homes grows into conversations in our communities and in our schools. And, pretty soon it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And so when we start to think about the concept of generational wealth and really changing things from, we all want better for our kids, that's how those things happen. Speaking that into existence, sharing the information that we have, and making sure that everybody knows about it. It's a topic that we need to become more comfortable talking about and sharing.
So in addition to the links to your organization and the tactical, knowledgeable tools that you provide, there's also links on starting with your imagination, because this is truly an inside-out game.
Yep.
I don't practice it as consistently as I would like to, but the things in my life that have manifested the way I would like them to started by me really believing in this imagery that I had about what life could be. And then when I tend to drift, I tend to how did I get here? Like, this is not my beautiful. This is not
right.
How did this life come about?
Right.
And so intentionally waking up and believing in this imagination or the images that you have in your mind about what you want to accomplish is step number one. So I want to go through the other pieces too. So the other part you talked about was credit. We find that credit can be the anchor that holds us back when it comes to us really having the discretionary cash to do what we want to do, because we spent some time spending money that we didn't have, borrowing it, and now having to pay it back at a higher cost, including interest. So the second step and the resources you have here is how to really get out of debt.
Yep.
So what are some of the important points that you want to give someone who's watching this now to help them utilize your tools to really get out of debt and not be hopeless, not feel hopeless, thinking that it's impossible for them to do?
Yeah. So the first thing I want to say is it is absolutely possible. On our website, and I will share this with you, we've got so many client success stories where over and over and over people say, I can't believe I paid off $30,000, $60,000, $90,000 in debt in a period of 5 years. It's incredible. But it's thinking about how to do that the right way. So no matter where you are, you can absolutely get out of it. But you have to start by knowing what your situation is. And oftentimes people say, I know that I need to check my credit, and I know that I need to really sit down and write out everything that I owe, but it's a painful process and I don't know if I'm ready to do it. That's the first step, right? Knowing where you are and then building a plan to just get where you want to be. And we can help you with that. We can work with your creditors to help lower those interest rates. Over the course of a debt management plan, we see people on average raise their credit score actually up to 90 points because they're making regular, consistent, on-time payments, paying off that debt, learning how to effectively manage their money. So it's a good thing. So we have to start there, knowing what it says about us, building a plan. And then once we get where we want to be, making sure that we stay on top of that credit report and the debt, and making sure that it stays where we want it to be.
So there's two counseling. You have credit report reviews and you have credit counseling. So if that is an area of focus for anybody watching, I would say going there first and getting a counseling session on that. And then from that process, there are different debt relief strategies that you guys offer.
Yes.
That can help you get out of debt, whether it's a debt management plan or any of the other tools that you guys offer that assist people in getting out of debt quicker. So that's definitely, the keys are there. You just we're giving you the keys. You got to open the door and step in and do the work, right?
That's right. That's right. And we will, that initial debt and budget session, that initial credit counseling session, we will talk to you about, based on your situation, what are the next best steps. So just call, do the initial session. We'll help you take it from there.
So you got believing, your goals and your imagination, getting a budget together, understanding where you stand credit-wise, if that's one of the areas of improvement, and then putting together a plan.
Yeah.
And a plan can be identified through one of the debt relief programs that you guys have, if that's one of it. Or from a standpoint, if you don't have a debt issue, but you have a budget, do you provide any kind of ongoing counseling or periodic check-ins for people who are implementing the plan?
So based on the service that you're taking advantage of, one thing I think about is like Project Porch Light. This is our disaster recovery. And so this is often a place where people need regular check-ins. And so, yeah, you can work with your counselor, you can check back. You can always take advantage of the resources that we have. We're always trying to make sure that we have new and up-to-date information based on what's happening in our economy and the world. So we are always here available to help you regardless of your situation. Yes.
So
And
this is not,
I'm sorry. I was going to say, there are times where folks will come to us and do, take advantage of a debt management plan. And then 5 or 10 years down the road, they find themselves sort of in financial trouble again, and they call us back. And that's okay. We're here. We're here. No matter what life throws at you, or if it throws it at you twice, we're here and we will help you handle it.
And so someone can go through your counseling service, and then let's say 6 months later, their life changes, they're making progress, or they get a new job. They can go through your counseling service again, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. It's
So
a
that can
journey.
be a good checkpoint.
Yeah.
Especially if they have a goal of, let's say, saving money, which was the fourth step was saving money. So once you have your budget, once you have a strategy, once you know where you are from a credit perspective and work out a plan of getting out of debt, then it's a matter of making sure that you save money. Because as you're getting out of debt, it is critically important that you save money for emergencies. That is, before we get into building wealth, which is the last step, it is so important to have cash. Cash is king, right?
Yeah. And when we think about the budgeting process, after we identify goals and imagination, the hard part is determining those wants and needs, right? And making sure that we're prioritizing our expenses. But savings has to be a priority. At minimum, saving for an emergency must be a priority. No matter how much you're putting aside, making sure that you're doing that on a regular basis, because life happens and that can derail our plans in a big, big way. But then, making sure that you're also positioned to be able to achieve the goals you've set for yourself over the years. So there's really sort of two components to that saving, right? I mean, it's the importance of saving for emergencies, but then also saving for other stuff. So yes, it's a critical step. And then, you have to do that so that you've got something to then protect and invest with and grow from. Absolutely.
So let's start with imagine. Let's say your monthly bills are $2,000 a month or $5,000 a month or even $10,000 a month. So imagine this, believing that you now have, I have $6,000 in a savings account that's not calling my name. Or I've got $15,000 in a savings account that's not calling or I have $30,000 in a savings account that is truly for emergencies. And it's not like calling my name saying, hey, I want to go on this vacation or anything of that nature. So you can achieve that. And if that's your goal, maybe it's just building up 1 month of savings initially. So over the course of the year, that may be a very realistic goal to say that I want to save at least 1 month of my living expenses in a savings account that's out of sight, out of mind. That's not like a revolving savings account. Put money in, take money out. And that may be a good first goal for you. So let's imagine that. Imagine that you can accomplish that in either 3 months, 6 months, or a year, and then continue to check in with you to make sure that there's nothing that's derailing your plan.
Yep.
Do you talk about having an accountability partner? Do you talk about having an accountability partner?
Yeah, I mean, no matter what you do, that's critical, right? So that partner could be anybody. One of the most common people that I think we often overlook, and it's so crazy, is our partner. So if we live with somebody else, you'd be surprised how often that person isn't on the same page with our financial goals. So when we think about accountability partners, that could be anybody or everybody. But starting with your immediate family, the people that affect your financial decisions every single day, that is huge. So when you schedule that counseling session with us, if it's more than you that is looking at those monthly finances, come together. let's work on that together. Let's start on the right foot right away. But yes, accountability partners is big because, like I said, in so many cases, we miss things. We become so close to a process and we look at it so much that we miss the obvious, right? The forest through the trees. And so a non-biased third party can sometimes be the key that unlocks that.
And I'll tell you, we probably all have experienced somebody in our circle that was not good for us in different ways, whether it was physically, whether it was emotionally, it could be even financially. So it is important that if you are looking at your circle of people and they're not inspiring you, they're not encouraging you to be focused on your goals and be intentional with your time. Dr. George Fraser said, a definition of a relationship is someone that either does one of four things: they either add, subtract, divide, or multiply. And he doesn't understand why people spend time with others who are taking from their life, you're taking from theirs, and through that you get division. You should be looking for people that can add into your life, you can add into theirs, and through that becomes multiplication. So that is easier said than done. But, but if you're looking for someone to be an accountability partner, I would say connect with the Empower series. We will be your accountability partner. Now, we talked about imagination, budgeting, credit, having a plan, saving. The last step is really building wealth. So what do you have available here? And what do you say about people who want to now build wealth once they've taken some progress in the first 4 steps?
Right. So it all goes back to your goals, right? So what are you building wealth for? What does your situation have in store for you? And then making sure that you have a realistic plan to put that into place. Really making sure that you're taking advantage of all the resources that are out there. So when you get to the point where you're ready to start really investing and saving and thinking about, maybe retirement or college savings or things like that, is it important to engage a certified financial planner in those processes? Things like that. Making sure that you're taking advantage of savings matches. If you've got a 401k or a 403b available to you and your employer is willing to give you a savings match, take advantage of that. Really sort of run those numbers and think about, to your point, where do you want to be in 20 years, 30 years, 40 years? And what will you need when you're in that place in your life, and making a plan to get there. But then making sure that you're protecting those things along the way. So adequate insurance coverage. We talk about sort of a strong financial team. And this might be a number of people. It might be an insurance agent and a financial planner and a credit counselor and an accountability partner. So this financial team is people that you trust, people that you like, people that have your best interest at heart, that can help you get where you want to be. But that's the final step. And that's really sort of the big overarching goal, right? To be able to get to the place where we can start working on and eventually realize a plan where we've built ourselves into comfort, right? To be able to do what we want to do with our lives.
Tara, you are speaking my language when it comes to surrounding yourself with a team of people. You should have a personal board of directors that are helping you be intentional with your time, with your relationships, and manifesting the life that you want. So that could be your personal circle of friends and family that's holding you accountable. It could be professionals, like you were saying, a certified credit counselor, a certified financial planner, an insurance agent, not only for life insurance, but also for property and casualty. It could be an estate planner, an attorney to help you with your estate planning. And so it's very important for you to develop those relationships. And it may start with you just walking into your bank, whoever you bank with, whether it's Comerica Bank, Bank of America, whoever it is. Banks usually have a banker that can tap you into some of those other financial professionals that can help you once you lay the foundation and you're able to not spend more than you make and have some money left over so that you can save and do some things with it, right?
Right.
So I love this. I love this. As we were talking about this, there are things on the screen that you can look at. This is not a one-time video to look at and not look at again. So definitely save this, share it with other people, and pause it and do the things that we're talking about. Go to these websites that you're seeing. Go to the links that's on the bottom in the description field. If you had somebody with you right now, and let's say this is the only part that they're going to look at, they kind of fast forward it to the very end, what would be your closing comment that you would like to leave somebody with to encourage them to come back and watch this video over and over again?
Our mission really is improving lives through financial education. And no matter who you are or what your goal is, financial education and a foundation can help you get there. So if you are in need of assistance or you're just not quite sure where to start or where to go from here, call us at Money Management International, 866-889-9347, or visit us online, moneymanagement.org, and we can give you the tools and resources to help you get where you want to go.
Well, I think you said it all, and we are a resource. The Empower series is really a resource that wants to give people hope that whatever they can imagine, they can achieve. We want to inspire people to take action, not just sit and think about something, but definitely think and then act on it. So ideas and action. Educate yourself, and education is a continuous process. It's not just academic, but it's in life. You know, there's no expert in life.
Right.
You know, we're all experiencing things, and sometimes it's an experiment. We do something, we see what the result is, and say, okay, that didn't work. Let me try something else, right? And so you're always learning, but the most important thing is that nothing of significance can ever be done alone. There are people that are there to help you. And we stand on the shoulders of people who've come before us. You know, we're learning from other people, whether they've made mistakes or they've succeeded. We can learn from both experiences. And your resource, I think, is critically important. If someone just decides this year that they're going to look at Money Management International and take full advantage of the educational services, the counseling services, and the debt repayment plan services, and for the next 12 months, make progress on that, that will be a critical step to them manifesting and realizing their vision of what they want to accomplish and building wealth, and like you said, generational wealth to leave behind for their family and future generations.
Absolutely. I love it. And with that knowledge comes confidence. And the more confidence that you build, the more excited you get. And watch that momentum take off. It's crazy. Before you know it, you will be achieving every goal you set. You'll be unstoppable. I love it.
Well, Tara, I want to thank you again so much. I have so much appreciation for you because I know that you are very busy with your work, your family, and you've taken time out of your life to pour into the Empower series. And I'm really kind of envious of you because every day you wake up and you think about how you can empower people and help people financially, right?
I know. I love it. I'm so blessed.
So again, thank you. I want to thank everybody who's watched. And the biggest thing that you can do to get a return of the time and effort that you've put into this program is taking action and staying connected. So I want to thank you for spending your most precious resource, your time and your life with us in the Empower series. Do not keep us a secret. Thank Comerica Bank, for real. Thank Comerica Bank for your long-term commitment and partnering with other resource partners in the states and the territories that you operate in. I want to thank AE Media Group for making us look good. And most importantly, I want to thank our viewers in the United States and around the world, because without your contribution and your ability to share this with other people, we wouldn't be able to make the impact that we're making today. So thank you for your time. And until we meet again, I want you to be empowered and inspired to thrive. Thank you for watching our Empower Series YouTube video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Remember to hit the subscribe button below, as well as the little button to be notified the next time we upload our video. Until then, stay connected with us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever your social media flavor is. Inspire the world to thrive. See you soon.